Welcome to today's game, everybody. Today we are playing my favorite game, Eldritch Horror. It's actually my favorite game because it's so story-oriented, and basically you are doing a lot of adventuring around the world. It's basically like a board game role-playing game. It's a great mashup of the two, and you basically have all these adventures running around the world trying to find the Ancient One and rid it from the world. If you know my book series, Relic Worlds, then you know why I'm so much into this sort of thing. The whole idea of going around adventuring and finding treasures, and in particular, because this is basically a role-playing game in board game fashion. We have, essentially you have your adventures are, traveling around the world, finding clues and trying to fight monsters to rid the world of these monsters. And by the way, every now and then you're going to see this. I have some things in the wrong place, and this is the only the second time I've ever played it. The first time I've ever played it where I'm kind of running things, so I'm going to be slow on trying to figure some things out. And in fact, I'm only going to be narrating between turns. I'm going to try to narrate this basically like a story, so you're going to see this as a story as it progresses. I'm going to just sort of narrate, here's what happened. I'm playing it myself, because you're all on the same side anyway, so might as well. And essentially I'm going to put this together like it's a story. One thing, just sort of as a quick note, visually, when you see all the stuff to the side, these are things that are not in the game. All of this is the only stuff that's on the wood that's being used are these characters. Speaking of which, I think we should go through all of them so you know who they are. It's a team of 5, and the idea is that one of them is a senator. He kind of put everybody together. Charlie Kane. He is a politician, politician, senator, whatever. And he realized about this ancient horror in the world, and he has assembled this team to go after these great evils. I'm gonna also, okay, here we go. Basically, I wanted to make sure that we weren't on global for, I don't want to see everybody's comments there. I'll see if I can minimize that later. But anyway, game-wise, he has an action that another investigator of your choice may immediately perform one additional action, and when you perform an acquire assets action, you may allow other investigators to gain cards you purchase. So basically, this guy is, like I say, he's the one sort of setting everything up and sending things out to everybody. He has a personal assistant who can help him, and they gain influence. You may reroll a die when resolving an influence test. I'm going to get into the Doomsdayer here in a moment, but let's see what's the background information here. Let's see. Oh, okay, the stuff on the right you can ignore because that's when he gets defeated or something like that. Like I say, I played this one time before, but somebody else was in charge, so I'm going to be kind of learning it as I go along, which is part of the reason I'm not going to show you as I play it. And also, mainly, I just want this to be like a smooth story. But this episode's basically introducing the characters and starting the story along. So anyway, and the reason I say this episode, usually in the board game, in these board game videos, you see the entire game, but this is, such a long game and so much of sort of a role-playing type of thing that this is kind of going to be a campaign. We're going to have several episodes on this. So anyway, but let's read this background on him. When the press asks if Charlie is planning a run for national office, he smiles and says that he's focused on the important issues. The truth is that he would love to launch his campaign, but right now the most important issue is preventing the end of the world without causing a panic. To do this, that's a good goal. To do this, he's been calling in favors across the country. Most recently, Charlie stopped in San Francisco to visit Hearst Castle. With the help of his friends and his finances, Charlie believes he can fix this problem without sacrificing a single one. However, if he visited Hearst Castle, I'd bet you it's Hearst Castle is what's bringing about the end of the world, quite frankly. Hearst was not a good guy. All right. And so we're playing with the Antarctica board. The basic game is just the world, and when you go to Antarctica, you just go to Antarctica, but in this, you have a whole extra board with all this other stuff going on, and essentially you have these other little cards going on in there, and Doomsayer from Antarctica. Now, this was totally random that he got this, but this was very ironic and perfect that he got this. An expedition to Antarctica is unveiling a startling secret. Though only one man returned, he spoke of a lost city frozen in the mountains. Most of his rantings were gibberish, but it is clear that he believed that something in this city would bring the downfall of mankind. Given all the horrors you've seen, you hesitate to dismiss these fears outright. You find yourself preparing for a journey to the frozen south. So basically, Charlie Kane was running for office, and then learned about this ancient city in Antarctica and this ancient evil that's rising out of there. So he took a ship down to there, and he is presently not in San Francisco. He is at Miskatonic Outpost. So he basically is taking a ship down to Antarctica to see what's going on, and he realizes this is important, so he's going to get together his team of brave explorers. Let's see who they are. Well, first we've got Ursula Downs, who is an explorer, which is perfect for this sort of thing. Her advantage is that she can move one space along an uncharted path, then perform one additional action. Also, once per round, you or another investigator on your space may spend one less focus to pay for an effect, which is a great thing. She actually has a focus and a clue, which came because of other things. I will get into that in a moment. Let's look at her background first. As a young girl, Ursula constantly climbed trees, scaled rock walls, and explored caves. When it came to her studies, she excelled in history and the I can't quite read that. You might be able to read that. Okay. After getting a degree in archaeology in Boston, she began traveling the world, searching for forgotten civilizations. She's an expert in both ancient and contemporary languages and is capable of enduring the harsh environments she encounters during her explorations. Recently, Ursula has traveled to Africa to oversee the excavation of a lost city's ruins. Oops, here, let me just see if I can... I'm just going to see if... there we go. It's actually easier for me to read this way. What was that word I couldn't read? Explored caves. That was it. That was what I couldn't... Anyway, alright. So let's put her straight there and get that turned back around. So more recently, she has experienced rumors from the north. A chill wind. You know what? Get this thing out of... I'm going to get my finger out of the way here. There we go. I often need to get my finger out of the way. A chill wind makes its way from the frozen Arctic tundra, and with it comes something much worse. Rumors of cannibalism and strange sightings in the edges of civilization are on the lips of every passerby, even as their breath turns to a frozen mist before them. The signs all point to one thing. Ithaqua, the harbinger of endless winter, is stirring. So winter is stirring. I haven't heard that before. Da 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 da. Alright, so from that she got a focus and a clue, and she also got hypothermia. So she's going to have some trouble there. She also has mineralogy research. After resolving a general encounter or an expedition encounter on a wilderness space, you may examine the area's soil. Alright, so that is Ursula Downs. Now to the other kind of adventure kind of guy from classic serials. Mark Harrington. Even sounds like a serials kind of guy. Alright, the soldier. Actually, you and one monster on your space each lose 1 health. Ooh, that's neat. You cannot become delayed. You cannot become delayed or gain a detained condition unless you choose to. Oh, that's actually pretty good. Alright. During the war, Mark witnessed horrors he could not explain. Oh, war. So this is probably late 40s. And he wrote of what he saw in letters to his beloved wife, Sophie. When Mark returned home, he discovered that Sophie was no longer human. One of the beasts that Mark had seen overseas had taken over her body, killing her in the process. Afterward, Mark's thirst for vengeance led him into Helsinki, where some of these creatures had posed as German soldiers during the Great War. Oh, so this is after World War I. So this is... Oh yeah, it makes more sense. 20s or 30s. Alright, so that's his background. Whoops, here, just a second. Let me get this back. Alright. and he has the key to salvation. Tonight, you dream of a desolate earth collapsing under the weight of the cosmos blaring down from above. Just when you feel as if you are about to be torn apart, you notice a faint light beneath your feet. Kneeling down to inspect it closer, you find a tiny glowing key. You try to pick it up, but the closer your hand gets, the more difficult it is to shrug off the pain. In a final desperate push, the tip of your finger brushes the key, and the crushing pressure dissipates. Life blossoms around you with each step you take, pushing back the darkness. You realize with sudden clarity that you hold the key to the salvation of mankind. That won't build his ego at all. You know what you must do. Alright, so he got... Actually, it allowed anybody to get task unique asset, but I basically, I basically made it so that if anybody got the card, they just basically did it themselves, even if it was offered to everybody. So he lost 2 sanity, but he gained this, Purifying the World. Task, when you defeat a non-epic monster during a combat encounter, place that monster on this card. Then you may flip this card, so we will learn what that does. One thing I find is so important in these types of games is to not know, leave the mystery there. And even if I did know, I'm not going to tell you because that's the fun of it. That's one of the things I love about this game is there are all these different things where it's like, well, okay, when you do this, you're going to flip the card. Then you're going to find out what happens. I don't want to find out what happens. Don't you guys find out what happens. He's got a 38 revolver and kerosene. That's a good combo. All right, let's go up to here where we have Akachi Onyele. I'm going to call her that. I apologize if I mispronounce it. By the way, this is the character I played the only other time I played. She has an action, look at the top 2 gates in the gate stack, put 1 gate on the top of the gate stack and 1 on the bottom, and she also has, when you close a gate during an otherworld encounter, you may move to any space containing a clue or a gate. So, as a young girl in Nigeria, Akachi stayed apart from other children, preferring the company of imaginary friends. Her elders feared madness, but the village, Dibya, believed that she had been chosen by the gods. The wise old man taught her how to travel between worlds and how to marshal spirits. Now she has become a wise leader herself, traveling across Africa and teaching others to protect themselves. She's recently arrived in Cape Town, and from here she will reach down the dark forces, or she will track down the dark forces that threaten humanity. She's been hired, of course, by Charlie, what's his name, as the other 2 have. Alright, and with her, it's the beginning of the end. Over the past few months, the keystones of civilization have begun to crumble. Ancient libraries have burned to the ground, and many intellectual experts have died under suspicious circumstances. You've seen the clues and woven these events together to see a grand conspiracy. Some hidden society or unimaginable power is surely behind this, and you fear that the worst is yet to come. So, she got, an Eldritch token on the green space of the Omen, but the lead investigator got to discard 1 gate, and the gate is where the bad guys are coming in. And there was only 1 gate to begin with in this game, and that was up in London. So you basically get a gate and 1 monster, and so there's the cultists, which makes sense. Okay, so the cultists are calling forth the gate to bring the bad guys in, but something foiled them, and the gate disappeared. But the cultists, of course, are still there because they were trying to call for, the evil to come in. So, great job, but of course it just means that the end will come sooner and all that sort of thing. I can't remember why she got a token, but I went through all the steps, and anyway. She also has this Missive Relay spell, so it's an incantation. During the encounter phase, you may test her ability, her lore. If she passes, you may choose an encounter as if there are no monsters on your space, and then she flips the card. So we'll see what happens there. Then this guy here, I don't know why he got hired, but he's part of it as well. Wilson Richards, the handyman. Oh, well, there we go. That's why he got hired. He's Scotty. Gain 1 asset of your choice with value 1 from the reserve, or discard 1 card from the reserve and perform 1 additional action. Also, when you or another investigator on your space spend a focus to re-roll a die, that investigator may re-roll up to 2 dice instead. That's actually pretty good. All right, what's his background? Wilson's a practical man. He gets where there's work. He goes where there's work. When it's gone, he moves on. So I guess he just got hired on this. Wilson finds that offering an honest deal gets him treated honestly. But since he took a job rebuilding a church in Arkham, he's had a hard time being honest with himself. People are being torn from their homes at night. Things that used to hide in the deepest pits of the earth have crawled to the surface. He cannot sense all the things he's seen, but he can go to work on fixing the problem. So he's going to be part of this, and every time he talks, he's going to be talking like this. And he made the... Oh, and he comes with a blunderbuss. I love that. That's like this old-timey weapon. Alright. Ultimate sacrifice. People thought them foolish, troubled, or mad. How perfect that he got this. However, they persisted. For all their efforts, they were the first to fall before the coming threat, and they will not be the last. You must finish the work they started. The world depends on it! Alright, so I think... Oh, that's right! So what that did is it means that two people were already out there trying to fight this evil, and they died, and it was these two people up here. Oh, here, hold on, let me put this, and this to the side. Jim Culliver, who was a musician, and Trish Scarborough. Let's turn that over so we can see who she is. The spy. So there was a spy and a musician going around together, and they got killed, or not necessarily together, because she was here, she was up in Russia, so I guess she was spying on Russia or something like that. Makes sense. And the musician... Oh, musician was down here in... Oh, how perfect. He was... Oh, that's right, that's their starting place, so that makes sense. Okay, so he was in New Orleans, and he died from the evil beings, and she was in Russia. So... Those are people. Actually, I'll show you where... So this is Akachi in South Africa. Ursula is in the heart of Africa, where there just happens to be a clue that was random where it came up. Mark Harrington is up here in Northern Europe. And, yeah, Wilson Richards is in Arkham. That's right. So, and then, of course, we got Charlie Kane is down here at the outpost. Oh yeah, we were supposed to have these. 1, 2, 3. These are the items that people can purchase. Let's take a look at what they are. They are pocket watch, lantern, map of the the what? The ley lines. Oh, hold on. And a police ledger. So these are the different things that can be purchased as the game goes along. Oh yes, and one of these things, I'm not going to go through all of them again, but one of the things that came up, or no, okay, it was here. That's right. Here's what the monster is: Rise of the Elder Things. Let's see, is there really a description on him? Eons ago, the Elder Things were driven underground by the changing climate, hibernating in the cities they had built into the mountain or in the depths of the ocean. With the disturbance of the Miskatonic expedition, they have begun to reclaim the world they once dominated. So basically, they're in Antarctica, and this ship's expedition has awoken them. So anyway, so now they are coming out. And one of the things that did... Let's see, there was something I saw here that I've kind of forgotten. Oh, well, anyway. Oh, yeah, one of the things that happened as a result of the mystery behind it, because there's going to be various mysteries that come up. Actually, here, I'll show you, because this was actually kind of a cool coincidence. The card I happened to draw of them... The Dark God's prison crumbles. All around the world, the fabric of reality has weakened. Portals to other worlds have torn the sky as the Dark God's bindings crumble. A dark storm cloud gathers over the Antarctic Circle. So that just happens to be the first one, and what that is that means that gates are now opening in Antarctica, nowhere else. So the first ones I'm going to have to go through are the Antarctic gates. So gates will be opening there first, which is perfect because, of course, that's where the main bad guy is, and that's sort of starting the whole thing. There are already some monsters down here. the rampaging Slugoth. I don't even remember why that was, but there was something in the setup that had that show up there. So there's that thing is there, and so now they're going to have to go out there and try to find a way to finish this thing. At least there's no gate open at the moment, which is definitely a benefit for all of them. But they're gonna have to do it before. Basically, if the doom marker goes all the way to 0, they basically lose and the world comes to an end, because these horrors have gone all over the world and sort of eaten us all up. So, will our adventurers do it? Will they triumph? We will see throughout these episodes. This is sort of just the intro one, so I'm going to leave it at this for the introduction, so all of you can kind of see what this is and what's going to be coming. It's going to be once a week until this adventure is over. Then we'll go to our regular board games. But it's so you'll get to see how this progresses. It's going to be basically an ongoing story. Oh, there's the one other thing I forgot. There's an active expedition going on here, which we'll see what that means as we go along. But anyway, enjoy it, and also this weekend my own adventure book will be coming out, the second book of the Relic World series, which is basically, imagine all this type of stuff, this adventure stuff, going to ancient ruins and evil bad guys trying to destroy things, but all of it in space. So that's all coming out. Relic Worlds will be this weekend. It's Lancaster James and the Secret of the Padron Key. So take a look for that. Watch for this next week and keep on watching our other videos. Happy gaming, everybody!